We've been misled for years. Movies make it look simple. You write a will, it gets read, and everything's taken care of. But that is not what happens in real life. Without a trust, that simple plan can turn into months or even years of delays, confusion, extra costs, and hard decisions your family never wanted to make in the first place. And when everyone's already grieving, it can also lead to arguments over money, possessions, and what your wishes are. Because a will alone is not enough. A will shares your wishes. A trust helps protect your family so your plan doesn't fall apart at the worst possible time. I know what you're thinking because I thought it too. You assume trusts are only for wealthy people. You wonder, do I even have enough to do all that? Here's the truth. A trust isn't about being rich. It's about protecting what you've worked for. It gives your family clarity and control so they're not left guessing or waiting when it matters most. I'm Ansela with Kindred Legacies, and since 2018, I've helped people in my online community protect their assets. Let me show you why a trust is essential, what probate can really look like, and how to protect what matters before the unthinkable becomes your family's reality. Let's get into it. So let's talk about Prince, one of the most talented performers to ever live. Prince died intestate, so his estate had to go to probate. Now, he had no estate plan, but his estate was valued at $156 million. Federal taxes took $60 million of that, and probate in the state of Minnesota took $24 million, leaving $72 million to be divided between his heirs in addition to some of the companies or entities that he had some kind of relationship with that felt he owed them money for whatever reason. So, this is the danger of not having a comprehensive estate plan in place. Again, probate can take time, it limits your family's access to your resources, and ultimately, the state decides exactly what happens to all the assets that you work so hard for. So, this is something we definitely want to avoid. Of course, you want your family to be cared for, your spouse supported, your kids taken care of, and your legacy protected the way you intended. You want your love to bring clarity, not confusion. Now imagine this, your family is already grieving. Then they find out they can't access what you worked so hard to leave them. That can mean months or even years of waiting with delays, paperwork, and extra stress they really do not need. The bills still come, life still happens, and the people you meant to protect are left trying to figure it all out without you. A will does not stop this process. It can lead to probate right when your family needs answers most. And it doesn't end there. Your will can be challenged, and disagreements can turn into fights over money, possessions, and who gets to make decisions next. You worry about the moment things go wrong, when decisions have to be made fast, and grief makes everything harder. And you worry your kids and grandkids will be left arguing, waiting, or second guessing your wishes. A trust helps keep everything clearer and calmer. It gives your family a plan to follow. So they're not guessing and the process doesn't turn into yet another battle. This is the legacy you want, real protection when it matters most. So get your trust in place now so the hardest day for your family doesn't turn into the hardest year. So, how do you go about setting up this trust so that your family is well protected? Typically, it has meant going to an attorney, paying an exorbitant amount of fees for them to create this trust for you. And if you wanted to make any changes to this trust, that meant booking even more time with an attorney and paying even more fees. So this ad came across my feed and I snapped a screenshot of it because I want to show you what the attorneys are advised to charge for estate planning. So it's tiny in this little red circle. So basically, this is an ad for attorneys to add estate planning to their practice, and they plan to make $10,000 a day. And they can do that because if we see in the red circle, it says the recommended fees for estate planning are between $4,500 and $8,500 per engagement. So, this is what attorney fees look like for estate planning, which is probably why we thought trusts are only for the wealthy to begin with. But we have a better alternative, something that is more affordable. And that way, even if you don't have a huge estate or have millions of dollars, you can still create a comprehensive estate plan to protect your family. What is a revocable trust? It's a legal plan you set up so your assets are handled the way you want, even if you can't manage them anymore. The key point is you stay in control. You can move assets in and out of the trust anytime. You're not locking things away, you're just organizing your future. And when your assets are in the trust, your family typically won't have to go through probate. That usually means fewer delays, less court hassle, and less confusion right when they're trying to heal. So if you've been putting it off, don't. Set it up now so your family isn't stuck dealing with a mess later. You're doing this for a reason. You don't want your loved ones to face extra stress, delays, or conflict that you could have prevented. You want to protect them, not add more burden. While estate planning is important for everyone, it is especially vital if you have one or more of the following situations. If you have minor children, if you have property in multiple states, you own a business or have children from one or more relationships, your spouse or partner is not comfortable handling financial matters, or if you're concerned about estate tax. So, if one of these situations or more of these situations does indeed apply to you, you want to make sure you have a comprehensive estate plan in place. But the reality is, everyone has an estate plan, sort of. By default, you have the government's plan that involves probate, that involves the your information being a matter of public record, um, the probate court being the decision maker when it comes to how your assets are given or distributed. Or you can have your own plan, which would be setting up a revocable trust, which keeps your information private. You have the final say in how your assets are distributed, and it also allows you to maximize tax benefits. So you want to take the time to get your estate plan set up and completed. One thing that many people do is they'll get the trust or they'll start the process and then don't finish it. But that's something we can definitely address later. But when you get your estate or your trust set up, make sure you follow through to the completion of all the steps so everything is finalized. Protecting your family shouldn't cost a fortune. The legal system is expensive, and a lot of people skip an estate plan because they don't think they can afford the attorney's fees. Our program makes it easier and more affordable to get an attorney drafted plan that helps protect your family and gives you peace of mind. The law can be complicated, but our software walks you through it. And if you've been trying to keep it simple with just a will or putting things off and using generic forms, know this: an incomplete plan does not protect your family the way you want them to be protected. So why create your own trust? Because it's easy. Everything is in plain English, no legalese, and it is easy to follow. It is fast. You can be done with your trust in about an hour. Very affordable because the cost of the attorneys is shared by all the users. So you're able to get your trust created for a fraction of what it will cost you to meet with an attorney one on one. It's flexible. You can build and structure this trust exactly how you want it to be to protect your family. It's very convenient because you can access the documents anytime from anywhere via the internet. You get protection because your trust assets are protected from creditors and beneficiaries accessing them before it is appropriate to do so. Everything is attorney drafted and compliant in 49 states, excluding Louisiana. And we have an SSL A rated encryption system in process. So your information is absolutely secure and you get the powers of attorney included in this package. So, how exactly does the platform work? There's three simple steps. First, you answer the guided questions. Whatever the information needed, the platform will ask you for the information. The platform builds your estate plan. Again, compliant with your state of residence, and then you download and send your documents. It's explained to you how to get those notarized and how to store them as well. It really is just that simple. So, what do you get in this package? In our Kindred Legacies estate planning package, you get unlimited access to the trust creation platform. You get step by step guidance. You get the durable power of attorney for your asset management, but also for your health care. You get a certificate of trust, a pour over will, which that will make sense once you're going through the process. And we've even included for your benefit 2 hours of paralegal consulting. So if you have any questions, if something's not confusing, you need some direction, you have 2 hours of paralegal consulting for free, compliments of Kindred Legacies. This entire package that you have set in place, it is yours. All you have to pay to maintain it is $49 a year, but that $2,000 is a one-time payment. $49 a year keeps that account active, and we also have a payment plan available. So there's really no excuse for you not to go ahead and get this in place, because, not to sound morbid, but the reality is we cannot control what happens. Things happen every single day. People leave to go to work in the morning and don't make it home. It is just a sad reality. So you want to make sure you have taken the steps to protect your family now before something happens and you no longer have control or the ability to do so. Only 23% of Americans even have a complete estate plan. So most people aren't ignoring it, they're just still hoping they'll get to it later. But if you care enough to think about this, that really says something about you. You're doing the right thing for your family, because life is so unpredictable. Your kids and grandchildren shouldn't have to deal with the mess of us someday. They deserve a clear plan, protection, and peace. So don't wait any longer. Create your trust now while you still can, so the hardest day for your family doesn't turn into months or even years of stress and conflict. And if you've been stuck telling yourself, well, we're not rich, we don't have enough, or we'll do it when we need to, here's the truth. Waiting just leaves more uncertainty for the people you love. Click the link below to create your trust today.